Very interesting. Luke POV. I am at Zayden house playing with Cookie. Ever since Zayden has asked me to keep an eye on Nancy, I have been coming here every day. Sometimes I even sleep over for a few days. Why are you always here? I turn around and see Nancy leaning against the wall. Didn't I tell you? You caught my interest. She hugs herself. What's so interesting about me anyway? I stand up and walk up to her. A lot of things. She steps away from me. Like what? I grab her by the waist and her eyes widen. That you're also interested in me and I caught your attention and you don't want to admit to it. Lyric comes around the corner and Nancy pushes me away. She clears her throat. Nancy, are you feeling better? Lyric asks. I notice that Nancy's neck is red and I smile. Why yes, I'm better. How did you sleep? Lyric smiles. I slept well. I'm glad you're doing better. Lyric looks at me. Luke, are you and Nancy fucking? Nancy's eyes widen and I laugh. No, we're not fucking. Why do you ask? She laughs, because I feel like something is going on between you two. She shrugs her shoulders and walks to the kitchen. Did you cook breakfast, Nancy? Nancy looks at me and I wink at her. She walks to the kitchen. Why yes, I did. I was just about to come get you and Zayden. I follow her to the kitchen and she sets a plate in front of me and Lyric. Lyric, do you remember your time in high school? She looks at me and nods her head. Yeah, I used to get bullied while I was in high school. I didn't have any friends and I was always alone. I put a fork full of eggs in my mouth. What about family? She shakes her head. I was in a foster home and no one didn't want to adopt me. I don't know who my real parents are. I show her a small smile. I don't care anymore. Nancy's my friend now. My mouth drop. What about me? She laughs. You're my friend too. I look at Nancy and she looks at Lyric. Did you know that you, me, and Zayden used to go to the same school? She nods her head. Zadie said that we went to the same school, but he didn't say anything about you. Lyric takes a sip of her juice. Did Zayden tell you the reason why you were getting bullied? Before Lyric could answer Nancy, Zayden walks in along with Kane and Leo. Nancy looks at me and then at Zayden. Zayden sits down beside Lyric and Nancy sets a plate in front of him. Are you mad at me? Nancy slowly shakes her head. I hurt you, didn't I? I rest my head on my hand and watch them. Nancy slowly nods her head and Zayden sighs. I'm sorry. My eyes widen in shock. Did you just apologize? I didn't even know you can do that. He looks at me and laughs. This is my second time apologizing to Nancy. I raise my eyebrow. The second time. When was the first? He looks at Nancy. That's between me and Nancy. Nancy smiles. Do you forgive me? She nods her head. Yes, I forgive you. I look at Leo and he gives me the finger. What did I do? I just looked at you. I laugh out and he glares at me. I can already tell what you were about to do. You were about to call me Theo and you know damn well my name is Leo. I throw my head back and laugh. Lyric stands up and walks to the backyard. We hear her scream Kovu's name. Kovu is coming with us to Greece. I want him and Bunny to have fun together. I look at Zayden. What happens if Kovu attacks randomly? He shakes his head. He listens to Bunny really well and if he were to attack randomly it will be alright. My mouth drops. How will it be okay? He takes a sip of his juice. Because it will be okay. I drop my head. You really are a psycho. He laughs. I know. We're going to go now. Kane says as him and Leo walk towards the door. Keep us updated. We nod our heads as they walk out the door. I look out the window and watch Lyric play with Kovu. Zayden stands up. Where are you going? He looks at me. I'm going to go lay down on my hammock and see if I can get some more of my memory back. He walks outside and I look at Nancy. What? I walk up to her and lean against the countertop. Why did Zayden apologize to you? She raises her eyebrow, what do you mean? I lick my lips. Zayden said that he apologized to you once before today. Why did he apologize the first time? She crosses her arms, why do you want to know? Why are you always questioning me about mine and Zayden's relationship? I push myself off the countertop and step closer to her. She steps back and I trap her between me and the countertop. Didn't I tell you that I'm interested in you? I want to know everything about you. She looks at my chest and I smirk, are you going to tell me, or do I have to force it out of you? She looks at me with wide eyes, force it out of me. Are you threatening me? I laugh at her cluelessness, take it how you want it. She pushes me away and I laugh, she walks off and I run my fingers through my hair, she really is interesting. Zayden POV. Flashback. I want to break her. I am sitting down at the lunch table with Nancy and Autumn. Autumn rolls her eyes, what do you see in her? She's a nobody, she can't even stand up for herself. I look at Autumn, become her main bully. She raises an eyebrow, what? Why? Do this and you'll have all of my attention. She looks at me and then at the girl, I want you to be mine. I smile at her, I'll be yours. Get her name for me also. She stands up and walks over to the girl. Nancy looks at me, you're not going to date her, are you? I rest my head on my hand and smile, nope. I don't want her. The one I want is the girl who always has a lonely look on her face. She rolls her eyes, can I come over again today? I nod my head, you don't even have to ask. Just come over. I notice that she has a new bruise on her arm. She clears her throat and all of a sudden we hear a loud sound. We look towards the noise and see Autumn standing in front of the girl. The girl starts crying and runs out of the cafeteria. Autumn looks at me and I wink, I'm really a twisted person, aren't I? Nancy nods her head, yeah, you are. Senior year. I am at home laying down when all of a sudden I hear Jaslyn run past my room. I walk to her room and see her on the floor. What happened to you? Why are your clothes ripped up? She looks at me and starts crying. Gee, get out. She walks up to me and I look at her attire. I notice that her pants are ripped as if they were cut. Her shirt is barely staying on her. I said get out. I flinch from her voice and I feel anger run through me. Jaslyn, what happened? Her eyes widen from my voice. She falls to the floor, I was screaming for help. No one came. She let him do this to me. She was in the other room. My breathing gets heavier, as she. Who is she? She looks up at me, Eleanor. She whispers out. I fall to the floor in shock, no. She cries harder, she told me we were going to visit some of her family. The only one there was some man and he raped me. I screamed and screamed, but no one came. I feel everything around me goes quiet and I feel my body go numb. I stand up and walk downstairs. I go to the kitchen and grab a knife. I walk to the living room and see Eleanor sitting on the sofa. She looks at me with a cigarette in her hand, what? I feel tears in my eyes, why? I whisper out. She takes a long drag, you're talking about Jaslyn. Well, because he gave me a whole lot of money to have one round with her. I hear a high pitch ring in my head. Next thing I know I am stabbing Eleanor repeatedly. I feel her blood splash on my face and I hear Jaslyn screaming. Zayden! Stop! I stop stabbing Eleanor and I look up and see Nancy staring at me with fear in her eyes. I drop the knife and I look at the body. Jaslyn covers her mouth and Nancy steps back in shock. I start laughing. All of a sudden a group of men walks through the door. They look at the body and then at me. They bring in a whole bunch of supplies and they put the body in a bag. They carry the body out and a man walks up to me, next time you kill someone call me and I'll come get the body. He puts a business card on the TV stand and walk out. I look at Nancy and Jaslyn, I should have killed her a long time ago, I saved you. Zayden POV. Flashback. It's been 2 days since I killed Eleanor. Jaslyn decides to up and leave. I have no idea where she is. I am at school on my way to the roof. When I get to the roof, I see a girl standing on the edge. I walk up to them and whistle. You do realize that's a long fall, right? The girl looks at me and I smile when I realize it's the girl Autumn bullies. Bunny. She looks at, Bunny? What are you talking about? I lean on the edge. That's what I'm calling you from now on. Get down before you fall. She looks at me, that's the point. I'm tired of all of this. No one's going to miss me anyway. I hum in response, I'll get the bullying to stop. She looks at me, what? I run my fingers through my hair, you don't have to worry about the bullying anymore. I grab her by the arm and pull her down. She falls with a scream and she looks up at me. I decided that I want to break Bunny by myself. I don't want the help of others anymore. I bend down in front of her, you're going to be like me one day. She scoots away from me, be Bunny? Where does that name even come from? I smile, bunnies are usually preyed on and you're my prey. Someone comes on the roof and I stand up and see Autumn. No need to bully her anymore. She's mine. Autumn looks at me, what? Aren't we supposed to be dating? I shake my head and look at Bunny, nope. I had my eyes on Bunny for a while now. I was never going to date you. You can leave now. Her mouth drops, what the hell? You said. I pull Bunny up and put her in front of me. I know what I said. Bunny is who I want, not you. She storms out and I laugh. Bunny pushes me away and I look at her, stay away from me. She runs away and I look up at the sky. Nancy should be here by now. I look at my watch and then sigh. I leave school and head to Nancy's house. I notice that there are 2 cars in the driveway. I walk up the porch and peek through the window. My eyes widen when I see a man on top of Nancy. We make eye contact and she has tears in her eyes. I look at her lips and she mouths, help me. I reach for the door and twist the doorknob. Luckily the door is unlocked. I open the door and peek in. I see a bat as I walk past the stairs. I walk in the living room and hit the man on top of Nancy. I look at Nancy and see her unconscious. I feel anger run through my body. I hit the woman with the bat and the 2 men sitting on the sofa. I call Luke and tell him to send 2 men. I hit the man who was on top of Nancy until his body goes limp. I look at the woman and laugh, you are so high on whatever drug you're doing that you don't even know what's going on. I look at the 2 men and fear run through their eyes, let me guess, brother and father. I run my fingers through my hair. First I couldn't protect my sister and now I can't even protect my only friend. I hit them both in the stomach, take your clothes off. Now. They do as I say and I have them stand naked until the 2 men I ask from Luke come walking in. I point at Nancy's mom, have fun with her. They look at the woman and start stripping. Do one of you have a knife? One man nods his head and throws me a pocket knife. I hold the knife up, brother. Dad. Let's watch the show in front of us. I throw my head back and laugh, she can't even fight back. I look at Nancy's unconscious body, why? She's your daughter, and she's your younger sister. She's in on it too. She enjoyed it all. I look at the dad, really? She enjoyed the new bruises you gave her every day. I grab his dick and cut it off. He falls to the floor in pain and I laugh. I look at the brother, family are supposed to be there for each other. I grab his dick and he starts crying, P please. P please. Don't do this. I cut it off and he cries in pain. I put his dick in his ass and laugh, since you like fucking so much how about you fuck yourself. He screams in pain and I do the same to the dad. All of a sudden the woman starts screaming, you're screaming now. It's too late for that. She tries to fight the men off of her and I laugh, you put your daughter through hell. I text the man who got rid of Eleanor's body. I text the address and I watch as Nancy's mom gets raped. She screams for help and I walk up to her. She looks up at me, please. I'm sorry. Once the men finish with her they walk out. She looks at her husband and son, W. What did you do? W. Where's Nancy? I raise my eyebrow, why do you care? I grab her by her hair and pull her towards me. Don't kill her, please. Keep her alive, protect her. I throw her back and glare at her, why do you care about her well-being all of a sudden? Your husband and your son raped her and abused every day. Your drug dealer was even raping her. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're her mother and yet you don't do anything to protect her. She scoots away from me, I know. I'm fucked up. Just take her and leave me. I'll get better and. I tilt my head to the side, get better. I walk up to her and pull her by her hair, I look her in the eyes, you're not going anywhere, but hell. I slice her throat and her blood gets all over me. She slowly bleeds out and she holds her neck. I watch as the life in her eyes slowly disappear. I drop her body and I look at the bodies around me. I hear someone walk in and see the man from before. 2 days later and you kill 3 more people. You're also covered in blood like last time. He looks past me and whistles, I don't think she's happy with you. I turn around and see Nancy looking at her now dead family. She looks at me and I take a step towards her. She steps back from me and I feel hurt run through me. She's giving me the same look Jaslyn gave me. Nancy, I saved you. All of a sudden she faints and I run up to her. I look at the man and he sighs. He looks back, take her to the hospital. Tell them she was raped. He says to his group of men, Titus, doing this may bring us to the public eye. The man I now know as Titus smiles, no, we won't. I have somebody who will hide us. A man walks up to me and bends down and picks up Nancy. I try to follow them, but Titus stops me. You're leaving that house you stay at. I have another place for you to stay. I think you would enjoy it. I look at him, why? He laughs, because you actually got yourself involved with a very undercover group. You can go check on the girl once you get home and clean yourself up. He hands me 2 sets of keys. House key and car key. He pushes me out of the house and leads me to a car. Drive him home and then to the hospital. He says to the driver. The driver looks at me and then drive off. The look on Nancy's face keeps replaying in my head. Once we get to my house the driver looks at me, I'll wait out here. I nod my head and walk in the house. I walk to my room and take a shower. I put my clothes in a plastic bag and walk downstairs. As I'm walking to the front door I hear something from the kitchen. I go to the kitchen and the next thing I know I am thrown back by a huge explosion. Titus Night POV. I am looking at the mess Zayden made. He is one reckless boy. My phone starts ringing, hello. Titus, sir. There was an explosion. I furrow my eyebrows when I hear my driver's voice, calm down. What happened? He lets out a couple of breaths, the boy's house exploded. We're at the hospital right now, but it's not looking good. I hang up the phone and run outside. I go to the car and head to the hospital. I get to the hospital and run in. I see my driver and I see that he is bloody, are you okay? Where's the boy? He points at a door, they took him back there. It just happened out of nowhere. I ran in and saved him, but when I got to him he was bloody and he was already unconscious. I calm him down, you need to get yourself patched up. You have shards of glass in you. He slowly nods his head and a nurse walks him to the back. I pull out my phone and call Bradley, I need you to cover this up. He lets out a long sigh, I told you I would. I rub my eyes, I need you to cover up another one. He did 3 more people. Who the hell is this kid? Why are you so hooked on him, Titus? He killed 4 people in a span of 2 days. You're making this harder for me. I walk outside, Can't I just help a kid out? He scoffs, you have 2 kids already. What do you want to do? Adopt him? I shake my head and laugh, he just caught my eye. He had a weird look in his eyes when I first saw him. I've been keeping tabs on him ever since. He sighs and I hear him typing, you owe me more than a drink. I smile, I know. What are you going to do when Kate takes over? I look up at the sky, I'll tell Bishop about him and I have him tell Kane. His son is more suited than my son. He laughs into the phone, I got it covered. I'll cover both murder scenes. Although, some of it did get on the news, they don't know much about it, so the kid's safe. We hang up after that and I walk back to the hospital. I see my driver sitting down and he looks at me, you can go home and rest. I'll stay here and wait. He shows me an uneasy look, you sure? I nod my head and he slowly stands up, okay, sir. Be safe. He walks out after that and I sit down with a long sigh. 4 hours later a doctor walks up to me, are you here with Zayden Thompson? I stand up and nod my head, yes. Is everything okay? He nods his head, yes, but it seems like he lost bits and pieces of his memory. My memories are back. Titus night. Flashback. I am standing in front of Zayden and he has a bandage wrapped around his head and chest. He looks at me, who are you? Where's Nancy? Is she okay? I look at the doctor, he remembers someone. He nods his head, like I said before, he remembers certain things. I asked him a few questions and seems like he doesn't remember much of his time in high school. He does seem to remember a girl named Nancy. Is this Nancy the same Nancy who came in earlier? I nod my head, she's doing okay. She is in a state of shock, but other than that she is fine. Let them stay here for the night and then send them home. I shake my head, no, I would like to take them home now. I can't risk them accidentally bringing up the murders. He slowly nods his head, okay, well I need you to sign these discharge papers, and then you can take them. I sign the papers and I hand Zayden some fresh clothes. He follows me down the hall and I find Nancy sitting on the edge of the bed. I give Zayden my keys, go to the car. Just hit the alarm button and you'll find it. He walks away and I walk up to Nancy. I hand her some clothes, put them on. I'm taking you home. She quietly does as I say and look at me, I have no home. She walks past me and I follow her outside. We get to the car and Zayden is sitting in the front. When Zayden sees Nancy he smiles, Nancy. You're okay. Nancy looks at him and fear runs through her eyes. Nope, wait until we get home to do anything. I say as I open the door and rush her in the car. I speed out of the parking lot and drive to the house I bought for Zayden. Once we get to the house we get out of the car. Next thing I know Nancy attacks Zayden, you killed my family. I saw you slice my mother's neck. Zayden grabs her arms, I saved you. They were nothing to you, but a family in name. I pull Nancy away and Zayden starts laughing. The way they each screamed was the best. You're disgusting. I'll fucking kill you. I hold her back and he laughs even more, let's see you try. He looks at me, leave us here. We'll be fine without you. Nancy runs to the house and I look at Zayden, what the fuck was that? He shrugs his shoulders, I don't even know who you are, but I'm guessing me and Nancy live here since you brought us here. I facepalm my face, it seems like she doesn't remember what she went through. Tell her why you did it so she can remember. He shakes his head, it's more fun this way. Both of these kids are both fucked up in the head. I look at Zayden as he looks around, I want to kill someone else. My eyes widen when I see the same look in his eyes from when I first saw him. I can't believe I didn't realize that look before. The look of a killer is what I see. You know you were in a fire, right? He nods his head, yep. There's going to be a big scar on my chest and I have memory loss. He shrugs his shoulders, I'll still be able to sleep, so me not getting my memory back doesn't worry me. He walks towards the house, tell her or you will be dead before you know it. He starts walking backward and laughs, like I said, this will be more fun. He walks into the house and closes the door. I get in the car. I hope his twin sister put the cameras where she wanted to with no problem. Zayden POV. Present. Bunny. I knew her since the beginning. I say to myself. Zadie, you okay? I look up and see Bunny standing in front of me. Go tell Nancy to call Kane. She nods her head. What do you want her to say to Kane? I stand up, tell Kane to come back. I got my memory back. She walks back into the house and I follow her in. I go upstairs to my room and go through my dressers. Where the hell is it? I ask aloud. 10 minutes later I find the business card I was given to when I killed my foster mother. Titus Knight. I read the card and I start laughing. Cade's dad was the one who came to me. I put the card in my pocket and I sit down on my bed. I hear the door open. Is everything okay? Nancy sits down beside me. I got my memory back. She looks at me. Isn't that good? I finally look at her. It will be good the minute I kill him. I stand up. I want you to hear all of this. So be down there when Kane comes back. Send Bunny up here. She nods her head and walks out. 5 minutes later Bunny walks in. She smiles at me. Nancy said you wanted me. I nod my head, yeah. I pull her to me and laugh. Did you know I had my eyes on you since high school? She looks up at me, huh? I'm the reason you were getting bullied. I told Autumn to bully you because I wanted to see you break. I made your high school life hell. She steps back from me. Why? I shrug my shoulders, because I wanted to break you. I'm a psycho, so it's my way of thinking. I walk towards her and she steps back, scared of me again? I laugh out. She pushes me back and kicks me in my stomach. She runs toward me and starts hitting me in my face. I grab her by the neck and she lifts herself up and kicks me in the face. I let her go and hold my nose. I start laughing. Bunny wants to kill me now. My nose starts bleeding and she laughs. Don't you think it's time for you to die? I pull out my phone and I toss it on the bed. I might as well play fair with you. She throws a punch and I dodge it. I wrap my arms around her and squeeze her to the point she starts screaming in pain. Ah! She wraps her legs around my waist and she headbutts me. I laugh and she does it again. She starts bleeding and she laughs. I can't kill you. I don't know why. She grinds her hips and I raise my eyebrow. I feel myself get hard. I don't care about the past. I throw her on the bed and I take my shirt off. I get on top of her and crash my lips to hers. All I taste is blood. She says as I kiss down her neck. I take my shorts off and she moans, hurry, Zadie. We're having sex with our own blood on us this time. I push myself inside of her and she lets out a soft moan. She takes her shirt off and wipe my face and then hers. Hell no. We are not about to wait for you two to get done fucking. You called me back for this? We look towards the door and see Kane, Neil, and Leo. I laugh. I'll make it a quickie. They leave the room and I look at Bunny. I want it to be rounds. I laugh at her. We can do rounds later on tonight. I kiss her on the lips and I move my hips. 20 minutes later. We are downstairs sitting in the living room. Can you stop looking at me like that? I look at Kane who has been glaring at me for the past 5 minutes. Why is it when I get here you are fucking? I laugh, because Bunny made me hard and she wanted to do it. Bunny sits down on the floor in front of me. We're here now, so let Zadie talk. Cookie sits down beside me and Tiger sits on Bunny's lap. I got my memory back. How did you find me? I ask Kane and he shrugs his shoulders. My dad just told me to keep an eye on you. He told me I can decide if I want you to join us or not. I laugh. Titus Knight was there the day I killed my foster mother. He was also there the day I killed Nancy's family. He also got me and Nancy out of the hospital and brought us here. Kane raises his eyebrow. You're telling me that Cade's dad has been watching you since you were in high school? Not only that, but he covered up the murders. Neil shakes his head. Titus didn't cover them up, my dad did. Since we're basically with the government, my dad pulled some strings. Neil looks at me. Why did you kill your foster mother? I look at Neil and sigh. The man I killed that tried to rape Bunny raped my sister. He paid my foster mother to rape my sister and she allowed it. She was in a different room while my sister was getting raped. I look at Nancy. Do you remember Titus? He's the one who got us out of the hospital. She shakes her head. No, I don't. I touch my scar on my chest. My house exploded out of nowhere. He was there. Kane arches his eyebrow. He? I nod my head. Elias was there. I saw him in the backyard, and when I tried to go after him, the house explodes. Kane pulls out his phone and calls someone. He puts the phone on speaker. Why is Bishop's son calling me? I hear the man ask, Titus, you knew Zayden way before me. Why didn't you tell me? Titus laughs. I didn't know what to do myself. I end up dealing with two kids who were both fucked up in the head. Are you with him now? Did he get his memory back? Kane looks at me and I say something before he could. Do you know Elias Tucker? He laughs. After all this time and you don't say hey. How are you doing? Nothing? I lean back. No, I don't know Elias Tucker. Was he the man you saw before your house exploded? I raise my eyebrow. How do you know? He clears his throat. I came to check up on you and Nancy a few days after you both discharged from the hospital. You both were on the floor unconscious. It seems like you two got into a fight. I look at Nancy and she looks at her hands. I carried you both to your room. You woke up and told me he was there and then went back to sleep. I rub Cookie's head. You never said his name, and when I asked you about it the next day and you couldn't remember. Kane talks to him for a few more minutes and then he hangs up. I let out a long sigh. I need my kill list. You got your memory back. We need to go to Greece. I look at Neil. Go without me. I'll meet you there. Kane shakes his head. That's not possible because you don't have your own jet. Just let us know days before you go. We were set up. Zayden POV. Nancy, go ahead and start packing. Also, pack for Bunny. She nods her head and I look at Luke. Do I need to pack too? I nod my head. Yeah. We're leaving for Greece in a few days. I'll let Kane know later on tonight. I look at Bunny. Let's go find us somebody to kill. She looks at me and smiles. Can it be a woman? I raise my eyebrow. Why? She stands up. Because the last man we dealt with punched me in the lip. I walk up to her and look at her lip. I kiss her on the lips, pick out a name. She bites her lip and I hand her my kill list. She walks away. Come to my room once you find a name. I walk upstairs to my room. I sit down on the bed and pull the business card Titus gave me out of my pocket. I look at the card and set it on my nightstand. I look for something to wear and get dressed. I look down and see Tiger rubbing against me. Why are you so attached to me? Bunny walks in as I put my shoes on. You found someone? She stands in front of me. Yep, her name is Missy Bryan. I wrap my arms around her waist. Why is she on my list? She looks at the list as put my face in her chest. She killed some woman's best friend. The woman wants her dead because of that. She went to trial for it, but was found not guilty. I hum in response. Okay, that number you see, text it and tell them you will be done with the job tonight. She reaches for my phone and texts the number. I lay down with Bunny on top of me and she laughs. How far is she? She shrugs her shoulders. I don't know. I'm going to type it in the GPS. She's 5 hours away. Why is she so far? She puts my phone down and kisses me on the lips. What was that for? She laughs, when do I ever have a reason to kiss you? I sit up and squeeze her ass, touché. She kisses me again and I kiss her back. She moans in the kiss and I smile. I pull away, we have to get moving. Go change. She gets off of me and I get a message from the number Bunny texted. They send me the woman's location and half of the money. I send Kane the woman's location. Bunny comes out of my closet with a cami and a pair of blue jeans on. Her outfit is finished with a pair of heels, that's different Bunny. She does a little spin, I have a robe just in case you want to fuck me. You might rip my clothes off in the process. We walk out and I look around for Luke. Me and Bunny are gone. Okay. He yells back and we walk to the car. We get in and Bunny looks at me, why is Luke coming to Greece with us? I look at her, why do you want to know? She shrugs her shoulders, I just want to know. I look at the road, just to keep us company. 5 hours later we pull up to a bar. Bunny gets out the car and stretch, that was a long drive. Zadie, are you driving back? I look at the building and then at Bunny, I don't know yet. If not we can just go to one of the hotels around here. We walk in the bar and I let out a low groan, of course we would grab the attention of everyone in here. It's a bar in the middle of nowhere. We walk to the bar and I look around for Missy. I look around and see no cameras. I sit down and Bunny sits down beside me. I order a drink and a man walks up to Bunny, is that your boyfriend? I take a sip of my drink, no, he's not. The man laughs, really? What is he then? She looks at me and I smile, he's my Zadie and I'm his pet. He looks at me, anything else you would like to know? He shakes his head and walks away. A woman comes from the bathroom and I smile when I notice it is Missy Bryan. I turn around and seconds later she ends up sitting down beside me. I look at her and her eyes widen. I raise my eyebrow, why did you look at me like that? She lets out a nervous laugh, because I never really see someone as sexy as you. I take a sip of my drink. She plays with her fingers and I laugh, what's your name? She looks up from her fingers, Missy, you. Zayden. I look past her and see someone in the corner on the phone. We make eye contact and they quickly look away from me. I look at the bartender and notice that the man is sweating. Why would he be sweating and it's cold in this bar? He also has a fan above his head. You hot? He looks at me, why yeah. I'm moving around a lot. I look around and see that it is no more than 15 people here and only 5 people at the bar. I text Kane to see if he's outside and luckily he is. I look at Bunny and she has a pen in her hand tapping it on the bar. Bunny takes my hand and starts writing on my hand. I talk to Missy as she writes, did you and Lyric just move here? I shake my head, no, we're just visiting. Bunny stops writing and I read what she writes on my hand. They locked the door. I close my hand and then look at the door. I look at Missy and I touch her thigh. I feel under the bar as I do so and feel a gun. How did you know Bunny's real name? Her eyes widen and I quickly grab for the gun. Bunny hits the man beside her in the neck and takes his gun from him. I aim the gun at Missy and Bunny aim hers at the man. One move and you're dead. I say as I take the safety off, all of a sudden everybody pulls out a gun, shit. Bunny, behind the counter. We jump over the counter and they start shooting at us. We cover our heads, Bunny, 4 people towards the exit. Shoot them and I'll get the others. She nods her head and we see that the bartender is cowering in a corner. Bunny aims the gun at him. He holds his hands up, wait. And no. I'm not a part of this at all. Believe me. I stand up and shoot the men down. Bunny does the same and from the corner of my eye, I see Missy trying to go out through the back. Before I can do anything she turns back around and seconds later Kane comes walking in with a gun. Leave her and at least another guy alive. I say as me and Bunny stay behind the bar. I look at the bartender and he starts crying. Kane finishes up and me and Bunny stand up. We climb over the bar and I sit down on it. Bunny looks around, were we actually set up? I look down and see Missy sitting on the floor with her knees to her chest. See if anyone is alive. Bunny nods her head and kick the bodies over. The bartender slowly stands up and Kane looks at him. Who is he? Good? Bad? Leo walks in and he looks around. Damn. Who the hell did you piss off? Zadie, the man who talked to me, is alive. I look towards Bunny and see the man on the floor and leaning against a pole. Is he dying? She shakes her head. No, he just got a bullet in his arm. She bends down in front of him and put pressure on his wound. He lets out a scream. Ah! You bitch! Bunny laughs. Why did you try to kill me and Zadie? How did you know? Missy asks as I pour myself a drink. It was pretty easy to see. When you first saw me, your eyes widen as if you already knew me. Not only that, but you had a guy on the phone in the corner looking very suspicious. But what really gave it away was your bartender, who was sweating when it literally feels like it's 20 degrees in here. I take a sip of my drink. How do you know Bunny? She looks at me and laughs. What do you mean? Your plan may have worked if you hadn't said Bunny's real name. I never told you her name. She sucks her teeth and I swing my legs back and forth. Bunny asked a question and you didn't answer. I say to the man, why did you try to kill me and Bunny? He points at Missy. Don't ask me, she's the mastermind behind this. I look at Missy and laugh. Mastermind? No. Dumbass? Yes. Leo laughs and then clears his throat. I couldn't hold that in. Kane rolls his eyes and I look back at Missy. You don't remember me. I drop my head. I thought you got all of your memory back. Kane says and I look at him. I thought I did too. She stands up. He's the reason why I did this in the first place. I raise my eyebrow. He, his daughter. Zayden POV. He? She looks at me and smiles. He's my father. You killed my mother and also my aunt. I smile crawl on my lips. You're his daughter. Why aren't you trying harder to kill me? She shrugs her shoulders. My mom wasn't there for me and my dad isn't any better. Kane clears his throat. What did Elias want you to do? She looks at Kane and sighs. My dad told me about Zayden's kill list. He told me to find my way up there and after that, he'll do the rest. I take a sip of my drink. You do know you're not leaving this place alive, right? I hold my gun to her head and Kane stands in front of me. Wait, let's talk a little bit longer. I put my gun down. Talk. He looks back at Missy. Why did you go along with this? Didn't you know the consequences? She slowly nods her head. Yeah. She shows us her wrist and we see cuts all the way up her arm. As you can see, I'm pretty much over life. I was hoping Zayden would kill me. I drop my head and groan. It's no fun if you already want to die. I jump off the bar and walk up to Missy. Give me your phone. She hands me her phone. His name is Dad in my phone. I hum in response and go through her contacts. I click the contact that reads Dad and the phone starts ringing. You're alive? I thought he would kill you. He laughs out. I'm not a fan of killing people who wants to die. It's better when the person is begging for their life. The line goes quiet for a few seconds. No more stunts until I meet you in Greece. I'll be there in a few days, so be a little bit more patient. He clears his throat. So you finally remember me. I laugh. I can't believe I almost forgot the man who blew up my old home with me still in it. You're alive, aren't you? I look at Missy. Yeah, I am. But you won't be for long. I hang the phone up and drop it on the floor. I look at Bunny and point towards the phone. She walks towards me and put her heel in the phone. This is the second person I haven't killed. First was the man from the school and now her. Bunny looks at me. But can't you still kill her? I shake my head. No, we can use her when we get to Greece. He may not sound like it, but he was actually relieved when he found out his daughter was still alive. Bunny bends down in front of Missy. Have you had sex with Zadie? Missy eyes widen. What? No. Bunny leans closer to her and Missy leans back. I put my hand over Bunny's mouth and she looks at me. You really want me to kill her, don't you? She licks my hand and I pull her up. The next person I catch you with, I will kill them. Do you understand? She bites her lip and smile. I know, that's why I tried to kiss her. I push her against the wall and she looks away from me. I follow her line of sight and see her looking at Missy. Why do you keep looking at her? She keeps her eyes on Missy. I feel like there's something she's not telling us. I suck on her neck. What is she not telling us? She pushes me back. Where's the guy you saw on the phone at? I look around. I don't know. I walk to where the guy was standing and see the phone he was talking on. I bend down and look at the phone. I look at Missy and see her playing with her fingers. I touch the phone to turn it on and I see a clock counting down from 15. Shit! Kane says as he sees the timer on the phone. Leo, grab the boy. It's a fucking bomb. I speed walk towards Missy and grab her by the shirt. Leo grabs the bartender and we run out. As I get far away from the building, I notice that Bunny is nowhere around. I throw Missy to the ground and before I can do anything I see Kane and Bunny running out. Take cover now! Leo shouts as he pulls me behind a car and less than a second later the building explodes. I quickly stand up and see Kane and Bunny on the ground. Kane is covering Bunny's head as the debris fall. We walk up to them and they stay on the ground. As we get closer to them we see Bunny trying to pull away from Kane. Kane, I can't breathe. She breathes out. Kane pats her head. Let me stay like this a few more seconds. We almost just got blown up. Leo laughs and Kane opens his eyes and looks at us. Why were you two behind us? Kane holds his index finger. Let me catch my breath. Give me a second. He finally lets Bunny go and she lets out a loud gasp. She stays on the ground and looks up at the sky while laying on her back. The man in there was holding her back. I went back to help her. She looks at me and I get on the ground and put my face closer to hers. Were you scared? She shakes her head and laughs. Nope. She gets up and sits on her knees. She stares at me. Were you? I raise my eyebrow. Never that. We stand up and she walks past me. She walks up to Missy and grabs her by the shirt. She punches Missy in the face and Missy screams, "Ah! What the fuck?" Bunny throws her to the ground. That's 2 times you tried to kill me and Zadie. Bunny leans against the car and I look at Missy who is now holding her bloody nose. I walk up to Missy and bend down in front of her. Killing you will do no good. But if there is a 3rd time of you trying to kill me or Bunny, I won't even kill you, but I will torture to where you start begging for your life. I tap her face and I stand back up. I stand in front of Bunny and trap her in between me and the car. I observe her face. What? Looking for scratches. She raises her right leg and wraps her arms around my neck. Am I clear? I smile and kiss her on the lips. All clear. I rub her thigh and she lets out a soft sigh. From the corner of my eye, I see Missy staring at us. I pull away from Bunny. Is there anything else you would want to tell me? She shakes her head and Kane helps her up. We'll take her back with us. See you in a few days. He walks to the car and I look at Bunny. Let's go. We get in the car and she looks at me. Are we going home or a hotel? I start the car. Home. Neil POV. I am sitting in the living room when Kane and Leo walk through the door with a woman. What the hell happened to you? Kane lets out a long sigh. Went to the location Zayden sent and it ended up being a setup against him. After we finished them all off there was a bomb with a 15-second timer. Also, me and Lyric almost got blown up. I walk up to him. Yeah, you had it rough. Go take a shower. Leo will tell me about the woman. He nods his head and walks to his room. I look at Leo. Does she know anything? He shakes his head, no, she was sent to kill Zayden. I look at the woman and see that she has dry blood below her nose. Did the bomb do this? I ask her as I get a paper towel and wet it. She shakes her and I hand her the paper towel. No, Lyric punched her in the nose. Leo answers. She wipes the blood off her face and I lean against the countertop. What's your name? She looks at me and then at the wall. Missy. I look at Leo. She's the daughter of the guy who's trying to kill Zayden. I suck in a sharp breath. Did Zayden kill your mom? She nods her head, and my aunt. I drop my head, but I wasn't getting revenge. I did this because my dad told me to. Leo explains it to me and I sigh, so we're going to use her against Elias. He nods his head and Barry comes out of the room. Neil, what's going on? He stops walking and looks at Leo. I look at them and before I can say anything Kane comes out. Did you two already fuck? That was fast. Leo glares at Kane. No. What the hell? I start laughing and then point at the both of them. You can see the sexual tension between you two. Kane laughs and Leo rolls his eyes. I'm not doing this with you two today. He turns around and leads Missy to her new room. Make sure you put her in the right room. He gives me the finger and me and Kane laugh even harder. Fuck you. He shouts, making Barry flinch from his loud voice. Kane lets out a long sigh. Start packing. Zayden's ready to go to Greece. Leo POV. I am getting out of the shower and changing into some shorts. I put a towel on my head and I walk out of the bathroom. Are you sleeping on the couch again? I look towards the door and see Barry. I nod my head. Yeah. I'll be out in a minute. He shakes his head and I arch my eyebrow. Why you don't have to sleep on the couch? You can sleep on the bed. I shake my head. Unless you haven't been paying attention, I'm going to tell you anyway. I'm gay, I like men. Not only that, but you're my type. So me sleeping in the same bed with you is a no-go. He looks at his feet. Am I ugly then? Is it because I used to live in a school as my shelter? My eyes widen at his questions. Huh? What are you talking about? He glares at me and I flinch. I'm gay. He looks back at his feet. Was that your first time coming out? He shakes his head. No. I told my parents and they kicked me out. I dry my hair and sit on the bed. Why tell me? Isn't it obvious? Because you're also my type. I let out a soft laugh and he looks at me. Let's cuddle and go to sleep, new owner. Lyric POV. We are finally back home and I look at Zadie. I'm going to bed. He says as we walk in the house. He walks upstairs and I go to Nancy's room. I walk in and see Luke laying on the bed and Nancy is packing. Both their eyes widen when they see me. What the hell happened to you? Why are your clothes so dirty? Luke asks and I look at myself. Nancy walks up to me. What happened to your face? Before I can answer them, Zadie walks in. Did you know Elias has a daughter? Nancy quickly shakes her head. No, I didn't. How do you know? He laughs, because she tried to kill me and Bunny twice. Not once, but twice. That's why we look like shit right now. Luke sits up. Did you kill her? We shake our heads. No, I'm going to use her when I meet Elias in Greece. Zadie looks at Nancy. Do you know anything else? Because if I found out some more information that I feel like you know. Nancy quickly shakes her head. No, I don't know anything else. I told you everything already. Zadie lets out a sigh and grabs me by the waist. Me and Bunny are going to take a shower. I look at Luke and Nancy as we walk out. I wanted to talk to them longer. I say with a pout on my lips. Zadie makes a small noise. I'm sleepy and I want to sleep. We walk to his room and then to the bathroom. He turns the shower on and then walks over to his tub and turn the water on. We get in the shower and wash ourselves up. Once we finish washing ourselves up, we get in the tub. Zadie leans back and I sit between his legs and he lets out a restless sigh. I lay against his chest and close my eyes. Zadie. He hums in response and I stay quiet. If I die, are you going to find another woman to break? 30 seconds pass by and all I can hear is our light breathing. Yeah. More than likely. Why? What will happen to me if you die? Where will I go? I keep my back against him and I move my hands under the water. I won't die, so you won't go anywhere. I laugh. What makes you say that? He makes a noise and sighs. I'm not dying and you're not dying. So we don't need to worry about that. He wraps his arms around me and kisses my neck. I turn around and look at him. We're not dying. He nods his head and then kisses me. I kiss him back and I smile when I see his dick peeking out of the water. I lean over the tub and he gets behind me. He licks from my back to the back of my neck. He bites my neck and I moan as he slowly slides inside of me. He hugs me from behind and moves his hips at a slow pace. I bite my lip and he laughs. Why are you holding your moans in? He rubs my clit and I gasp, my voice echoes. He bites my ear. That's even better. An hour later, I am laying down on the bed and Zadie is turning off the lights. He gets in the bed and turns his back to me. I turn my back to him and seconds later he pulls me to his chest. Zadie. Home? Night. I close my eyes and he lets out a soft sigh. Morning. I wake up to the sound of Zadie's phone going off. He groans in his sleep and turns his phone off. I go to the bathroom and do my morning routine. I come out of the bathroom and see Zadie pushing Tiger away from him. Why do I always wake up with your cat in my face? I shrug my shoulders and laugh. I pick Tiger up and he rubs his head against my face. We hear a knock on the door and Zadie walks to the bathroom. I walk to the door and open it. Nancy walks in and I point to the bathroom. He's in the bathroom. I walk out and go to the kitchen. I see Luke sitting down drinking a cup of coffee. Morning, Luke. He smiles at me. Morning. I put Tiger down and he runs off. How you sleep? His eyes fall on my neck and he shakes his head. Never mind. Don't answer that. I open the back door and Kovu walks in. I give him a hug and he rubs his head against me. Good morning, Kovu. Nancy comes down. I'll start breakfast right now. I look at Nancy and then back at Kovu. Lyric. Zayden wants you back upstairs. I stand up and I walk upstairs to Zadie's room. I walk in and see him packing. Get dressed. We're going out after breakfast. I nod my head and walk to his closet. Zadie, when will you put clothes in my room? All I have is a drawer full of robes. I grab a black romper and put it on. I look towards his shoes to see if he have any sandal I can wear. I smile when I see a pair and I pick them up. I put them on and look at myself in the mirror. He walks in the closet and looks me up and down. I'll think about it. We walk out of the closet and he looks at his phone. I'll meet you downstairs. I walk downstairs and sit down beside Luke. Where are you two going now? I shrug my shoulders and watch Nancy cook. I don't know. He told me we're leaving after we eat breakfast. 10 minutes later Nancy sets a plate in front of us and Zadie comes in. He sits down beside me and Nancy set a plate in front of him. Where are you and Lyric going? Zadie looks at Luke and smiles. We're going to visit Bunny's old job. I tilt my head to the side. My old job. Why? He puts a piece of bacon in his mouth and smile. You'll see. We finish up our food and head to my old job. Once we get there we stay in the car. Are you going to tell me now? He shakes his head and smiles. Nope. It's better this way. Let's go. We get out of the car and walk in. The first person I see is my old manager. He walks up to me and grabs me by my arm. You have some nerve showing up here. You've been gone for more than a half a year. I try to pull my arm out of his grip. Let me go. I almost got raped because of you. He tightens his grip around my arm. How am I at fault? Zadie pushes him back and stands in between us. Who the hell are you? I rub my arm and Zadie looks at me. He looks at my arm and then back at my manager. If there wasn't such a crowd around us, I would do more than push you back. He clears his throat and looks at me. Lyric, there's no need for you to be here. We don't need you anymore. I hold my arm. You don't have to worry. I'm not coming back. I'm here to see the owner. He's here, isn't he? Zadie asks my manager. Yes. But how do you know that? Zadie smiles. Didn't he tell you he's selling this place? I'm your new boss and you just pissed me off by putting your hands on Bunny. Lead me to his office. I laugh as I see fear run through my manager's eyes. You won't be here much longer. He clears his throat and starts walking. His office is this way. We follow him to the back and Zadie looks at me. Come here. He pulls me towards him and looks at my arm. You bruised up Bunny. My manager clears his throat as we walk down a hall. I'm sorry, sir. Zadie laughs. Sir? You're already calling me sir? He opens a door and we walk in. A man sitting at a desk stands up. I see you already met my manager of the building. Zadie laughs and the man reaches out to shake Zadie's hand. Yeah, I met him. He puts his hands on Bunny. Also, this is the same manager who forced Bunny to stay with some man. That man ends up almost raping Bunny. Zadie doesn't shake his hand but sits down in front of his desk. He pulls me in his lap. The owner looks at the manager. This is the second time, Harvey. Why do you do that? Zadie laughs and squeezes my ass. Why do you do that, Harvey? He looks at Zadie and then at the owner. The owner sets a small stack of papers in front of us. I've already signed the contract, this place is yours. Zadie nods his head as the man packs his things up. Harvey, I'm not your boss anymore, so I can't tell you anything. You listen to this man now. He says as he points at Zadie. He walks out and we look at Harvey. Zadie stands up and sighs. He walks behind the desk and pulls a gun from under the desk. Zadie digs in his pocket and pulls out a pocket knife. He hands me the knife and looks at Harvey. Harvey, take me to the lowest level. Harvey's eyes widen. I don't think that's a good idea. Zadie walks up to him and squeezes his shoulder. You don't have a choice. Before we can go anywhere, Kane, Neil, and Leo walk in. I raise my eyebrow. Why are you here? Leo shrugs his shoulders. Kane told me to come along. Zadie claps his hands. Now that everybody is here. Harvey takes us to the lower level. Harvey nods his head. Bunny, when we get down there, you can have all the fun you want. Confusion crosses my face as we get in an elevator. Harvey, how did your boss not know about this? Is he stupid? I look at Harvey and see him sweating really hard. What the hell is going on? Kane asks. Zadie laughs and looks at me. Once the elevator door opens, Zadie grabs Harvey by the back of his neck. My eyes widen when I see a bunch of men and a few women. I look at Zadie. Harvey has been getting paid by all these men. As long as he keeps bringing them women, he gets paid. Harvey looks at Zadie. How do you know about this? You're on my kill list. An anonymous woman told me about this. You brainwash the women once they're all done with them. This woman pretended she was brainwashed and you let her go. Zadie laughs. Kane, Neil, and Leo will get all the women. Bunny will have her fun. I look at Zadie and smile. I run up to the first man I see and jump on his back. I slowly slice his neck and blood goes everywhere. A few women scream and I look at the men in front of me. What the hell? Who the fuck are you? He steps back from me and I stab him in the stomach and then in the chest. Someone who's having fun.